Hello everyone, welcome back to the Access Sport podcast. And as always, we've got a guest with us who can tell us a little bit about their experience with Access. This time we've got a former student who went through the programme formerly at Rochdale, now has always been based at Hyde United. And it's Ethan Pye, current Stockport County centre-back. And congratulations, first of all, Ethan, on the promotion this year.
Thank you very much. No, I appreciate that, and thanks for having me on.
No, I really appreciate you coming on. So again, for the benefit of our current students, we thought it'd be a good opportunity to get a former student along who come through the Rochdale programme, but from an Access Sport point of view, it was the education element that we handled. But again, we've still got a lot of the staff that worked with Ethan. Some of those staff have moved on as well, as you moved on. But again, the idea of this podcast is to have a good chat about Ethan, talk about his development as a young footballer, how the programme helped him, how maybe it didn't help him, and the things he learned on the programme, but more importantly what he's doing now and the lessons he's learned as a footballer. So without further ado, Ethan, I'm going to take you back a little bit. I know you're not as old as me, but it's still been a while since you were at school and obviously you were playing football at that age. Talk to us a little about growing up as a footballer. I asked you off air, you supported, you can tell us as well, but who were your idols, who did you look up to, how did you get into footy, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I think just when I was younger, I've always kicked a ball about anyway. But I've always grew up as a Man United fan because that's who my parents support. And
that's fair enough.
But growing up back then, my idols were probably Ronaldo and probably Wayne Rooney because obviously they play for Man United and I'm a big Man United supporter. But no, I've always played football since I was walking, really. I've always had a ball in my hand and loved it ever since.
School then, what was your development like in school? Did you just play for your local Saturday, Sunday team? I always think it's interesting because there's a lot of differences in this sense. Did you play on a Saturday and a Sunday? Did you play for two teams? Did you just play for one team?
No, I played for my local light team, so Little Lever. And then, played for Bury as well. And then it got to the age of, I want to say, 8 or 9. So I played for Little Lever on a Saturday, Bury on a Sunday. Then it got to the age where they cut it off, so you couldn't play for your local team anymore. So it's back to Bury, and then I think I was there for about 6 years, so 8 to 13, 14. And then, that's when I got released. And then,
So, I mean, that's a perfect segue. What was that like? I mean, I've been on the unfortunate end of releasing players myself. I've been there as an uncle, I've been there as a cousin, I've been there myself as a player. Every person's experience is different, I think, in terms of the way it's handled by the club, the way that you take it, how you kind of built up to that. Give us a bit of an insight as to how that was for you. Did you see it coming? How was the news broken to you?
No, I actually didn't see it coming. Even my parents didn't. Not being big-headed, but I thought I was probably one of the top players in that team at the time. I was performing well. I was playing age above a few times. So it was a pretty unexpected release, but I didn't take it very well. Obviously, as a young kid, all you dream of is being a footballer. So getting released at that age, I was devastated. Left the room, cried my eyes out for a few days. Said to my dad, "Don't want to play football anymore." Lost it all, and then went on a few trials. I think I went to Oldham, 2 sessions I did, and I was like, "No, I don't want to do this. I don't like it." So I literally went back to Sunday League football with my mates. Absolutely loved it again. Played there for a year, and then that's when I got recommended to go to the Hyde United programme.
No, it's good to hear that because I think a lot of our students may have gone through that recently, maybe at 16, maybe feeling like that now. They've maybe played non-league for a season and been told at the end of the season they're not wanted back or whatever. But I think that's a refreshing way of taking it. You've thought to yourself, I want to go back and find my love for the game again. Yeah. It's so easy, isn't it, to go through that experience? And as you just said there, I think I don't want to play footy again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of kids will look at it and think, I don't want to play football again, that's me, I'm done. But I think you've got to find the balance. I think you've got to go and find the love for the game first. Because there's no point going on trials and trying to sign somewhere, because if you don't love it, you're not going to enjoy it, are you?
That's it.
So I think finding the love again for the game was probably the best thing. Playing with my mates on a Sunday, Saturday. I think just finding that again was the most important thing. And then from there I could try and kick on again.
Brilliant. So you spoke about, obviously, then someone recommending the Hyde United programme to you. How did that process work in terms of like going down there? Did you go along to one of the trial events? Was it an open evening?
Yeah, it was literally a couple of mates from school who were pretty good footballers. They literally were going, so they recommended to me. So I think I made a phone. I think my dad made a phone call and then invited us down. Went down for a few sessions and then enjoyed it. They liked me and then just entered the. I think it was under 15s. I think under 14s, under 15s. I joined and then from there it went well.
So from there on in, obviously at under 15s, that you probably has a year or so left in school. At that point, were you still in that frame of mind of I just want to keep enjoying my footy? Were you starting to kind of look what next a little bit more then, thinking can I kick on again, or was it still in your mind about just enjoying it and not thinking too far ahead?
No, it was like you said about enjoying it again, which I was. But then obviously I was looking at other things to do. So like when you're in year 11, you're looking at college, aren't you, and stuff like that. So I was going to like college stuff and looking for other things to do because I didn't think football was going to be an option anymore. Went to college opening evenings, looking at other stuff to do outside of like college, and because I just didn't think football was an option anymore. But I was still there enjoying it, and then
again, really fair point, isn't it? Because it's not guaranteed for anyone. I mean, you'll be playing with players now, or you probably have done the last couple of years, who were probably at Premier League academies and have worked their way down and are probably carrying on going down. Whereas 2 years ago, they were probably thinking that, they're going to have to be able to live off football for the rest of their life. Do you think, and it's hard for you to answer this without seeing the other side of it, do you think having that rejection and almost having to contemplate just a normal life without football, do you think that's helped you in any way?
Yeah, definitely, because I don't think I've got too far ahead of myself. I think I've not been given the world at 17, 18, all this money, big contracts and stuff. I had to work my way up, just like anyone else. So I think that's probably helped me be more determined as ever.
No, fair enough. So when you joined Hyde United, then just moving on a little bit, and it became more of a full-time programme. Again, difficult for you to answer this completely, having not been on the other side, but what was the significance of training every day, versus you've got to enjoy football again with your mates. You've kind of decided you're going to commit to a college programme that includes training every day. Why was that significant for you? Or was it significant, or was it just a case of carrying on enjoying it but playing more often?
It was significant in terms of you get a full week's training, proper training with good coaches and matches, as well as your education. But at first I was looking at it and thinking, do I want to do it? Because it's probably not going to get me anywhere. Obviously in a young mindset you think, you're just looking at it thinking it's just going to get me nowhere. But then I thought, well, I'm going to be playing football full time for the next 2 years, so I want to enjoy it. So I went to that. And then really enjoyed it. You get top class level coaching day in, day out. You play games twice a week. You do your education as well, so you're not missing out on that. So yeah, it was probably most important to me was loving the game, but getting full-time training as well.
Yeah, fair enough. And I haven't asked you this, but I'm going to ask it now, because obviously I know what your position is now. I didn't know what your position was. Have you always been a centre-back defender, or have you moved about and stuff as you grew up, or has it been like, that's my position, that's what I do?
No, I've actually, when I was younger, I think it was I was a left winger.
Wow.
Played a bit of striker, and then just over the years I started falling down. So I went from left winger to left back, and then left back to centre half. But I do still play a bit of left back now, but just I don't know, I just fell into place for me. Ever since I dropped into defence, loved it, enjoyed it, and took it in my stride.
We always used to get told, and it's not just like the clubs I've worked for, it's just the general coaching thing, that you try and play players as higher up the pitch when they're younger as possible. If they drop back, it's not the end of the world. It's a lot more rare to see players move up the pitch.
Yeah.
Was that true for you, being playing higher up the pitch? Different demands, isn't it? But then moving back, almost feeling like you've got a bit more time.
Yeah. No, yeah, like you say, everyone wants to play up front winger when they're younger, so doing that, I loved it and enjoyed it. But I think as you get older, you realise what you can and can't do, what you're good at and what you're not good at, and then obviously you just find your position, you embed it, and that's from there.
Well, perfect segue again. Then you touched on, recognising the things you're good and not so good at. Probably a little bit of a soundbite here that we might take out, so no pressure on you. But in terms of that, how significant is it when you do get to 16, 17, 18? Trying to think about, look, I'm not going to be brilliant at everything. I am going to make mistakes every now and again, but how do you focus on, and this is a tough question, how do you focus on limiting those, limiting the opportunities for your weaknesses to come out, but focusing on your strengths. What's your way of dealing with that?
I think, like, obviously you've got to know your strengths, play to your strengths. Obviously you've got your weaknesses, but I think working on your weaknesses as well, because so if you like everything comes of that, you've got time to reflect on. But I think, I just think you've got to know your strengths, play to your strengths, and try not to like let people show your weak side. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. No, I get that. And another one as well on that point. I'm again trying to pick out some nuggets for some of our players who are watching it. You've obviously played in different formations, different shapes this season in particular, but I guess throughout your developments, how important is that as well? Like, you know, not being too fixed to one position. You just touched on the fact that I played left back a few times. You've certainly played in a back three a lot. You've played, I'm assuming, in as a two, as a centre back as well. How important is that as you get to, again, beyond 18, going into the professional game, trying to be a bit more fluid in the way that you play or flexible?
Yeah, it's very important because obviously different formations is obviously different ways of playing out from the back, pressing, whatnot. So understanding different formations, because obviously it might be the same position, but it might be different demands in that position. So just learning back three, back four, diamond, just learning all them sort of positions, and I think it's very important. And obviously being versatile as well. A lot of managers love that.
Yeah, 100%. When did that first become something that you started to take home with you? Because again, I'm thinking back to my experience as a player, and I guess the way that a lot of our college players, you should call them, act at the moment. They go in, they train, they play, maybe don't think as much about it. When was the time when you started to think, I need to be a bit more conscious of that, I maybe need to look back at my games a bit more, I need to pick up on things? And was it you that kind of made that conscious decision, or was it something that was, you know, pushed upon you by the coaches?
Probably 15, 16. Obviously it was pushed by the coaches because we'd look back through games anyway and stuff. But I think that's probably when I started to learn the game more in depth, because we were playing in probably a back four when we were 15, 16, but we was sort of rolling inside as full-backs, and we had a structure of the way we wanted to play. So I think through that you learn.
Yeah.
You're learning the game more anyway, and then obviously you look back through games throughout the week because it's a full-time programme anyway. So you look back through games and look what you can learn. And I think just reflecting on your games in general, I think you just learn so much and just helps you develop further. And
now obviously being I say luxury, but you know, as a professional, how much do you still need to do off your own back? Because I guess the assumption is sometimes, oh, you're a professional footballer, everyone does everything for you. Is there still a lot of that goes on for you? Do you still spend a lot of time looking back at your own games, trying to refine what you've done, thinking, well, maybe, you know, should I have stepped in there earlier? Did I give them too much space as a defender, etc.?
Yeah, like you say, we still do a lot of in-depth analysis, but that's more of a team one. I personally always look back through my own clips. You get your own clips anyway. I look through the game as well, because obviously things develop from your own clips. But I personally always look back at all my games just to see what I've done well to use and what I could do better next time.
No, brilliant. Because again, I think I'm trying to tackle some of the stigmas here. A lot of our students will think, well, yeah, it's all right for him to say, you know, he gets all this on a plate now. I think, you know, what the type of analysis and the type of not only clips but data that you used to get, it's gone on like levels now at college level. So they're probably receiving similar things to you. But I guess your message would be, look, make the most of that and try and, you know, use that as much as you can to develop your own game.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, always look at your data, look at your clips. Just always like anything you can do to help yourself for next time, to improve what you can go and try out next time. So always just look back and reflect, because it's going to help you in the long run.
Brilliant. Right, going to move on to a little bit, I guess, how you stepped into the men's game now, because that's the most, for me, the biggest step of all. You know, you can talk about academy football versus Sunday League, Saturday League. I think at times when you're younger, there's not a huge difference. Maybe there is in the coaching and maybe there's preparation, etc. But I don't think level-wise at times there is. I think the step between academy or youth football into men's football is the biggest step. Talking about the first time, I mean, you might not remember the actual game, but your first memories of stepping into men's football, and what for you the biggest differences were?
Well, obviously I remember the first few weeks of training when I was in pre-season, I thought, wow, this is like a big shock. In terms of, not in terms of quality, I just think in terms of, like, obviously you're playing against men, so you're playing against big people, you're playing against clever players, and then it's more intense, so people are on you, you haven't got as much time. So I think that's what I remember most. Obviously, academy football, you get time, it's not as aggressive and physical. That's probably one of my main ones that I look back at. It's more physical. You've got to learn how to protect yourself, use your body more and be more physical.
And was it semi-professional? Did you play semi-professionally whilst you were in college at all, or did you play men's football, or was it literally straight from, your kind of college program into a first team pre-season?
Well, I did the college program for a year in the full-time program, and then ended up moving on to the academy for the second year.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got picked up straight away from Stockport anyway, which was National League at the time, but still a professional team. So I just went straight into their professional environment. And yeah.
Without naming names, because again, I'm thinking about when I made this step, and I always remember, it wasn't the first training session, because he probably give you a bit of grace, but I think it was the second or third training session, getting a roasting from one of the pros, reminded me of what was expected of me. Yeah. Can you remember the first time that happened?
Yeah, I remember first few weeks I got a few roastings, but I think I just learned to take it on the chin. Obviously there's some older heads that will look after you as well, so they'll get round you. They'll give you a bit of a roasting, but they will put an arm around you.
They'll explain, and
they'll put an arm around you, look after you, tell you what you need to work on and stuff. But I do remember it. But I think it is good as a young person, because I think you think, right, they expect high standards then.
Yeah.
And that then you take that in yourself, and you end up reaching their standards.
Well, that's it. It goes one way or the other, doesn't it? And I guess the reason I say that is that we've got a lot of students who will expect certain things when they go into that environment and think, I'm young, I'm going to get time, which is true to some extent. You get a bit of grace given your age, but at the same time, a lot of the people, particularly in the environment you went into, they're playing for their mortgages, they're playing for their livelihood. It's not a case that they can afford to allow someone to drift into that team and not be ready. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I mean. They're playing. That's their job. They're looking after the families and stuff. So they don't want you coming in just being not half-assed, like not putting 100% in or stuff. So they're going to be on you straight away. They're going to demand high standards. So you can either go one way, you can either crawl into a ball and not like it, or you can stand up, be a man, and take it on the chin and learn.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Good point. And I guess the reason I stress that is, and this is not a dig whatsoever at parents or at any of our players who've made complaints, but we've had complaints in the past where, look, we think the coach is a bit hard on them, and at times, that's absolutely fair, and we don't advocate people feeling uncomfortable in an environment. But I guess from a coach's point of view, our coaches, particularly the coaches who've worked at senior level, are trying to prepare students who want to make that step into the program. You must have recognised that difference between coaches at the men's level or senior level versus academy level. Just talk to me a little bit about that in terms of the way not the way they address you, but the mannerisms and again how you dealt with that as a player.
Yeah, I think it's a lot different. Obviously, as a academy coach and stuff, like, they can be a bit harsh sometimes on you. That's what personally you might think, but they will be a bit nice about it as well. Whereas you get to first team level, they'll give you abuse, and you've just got to be able to take it. Obviously, they have a lot of respect for you because you're a grown adult now and man to man, but you have to listen to them, and if they give you have to take it. You know what I mean? You've got to learn from it. Not take it to heart too much, because, like you say, you're playing for 3 points on a Saturday, so emotions are high. People are shouting and stuff, but it's in a changing room that you've got to get yourself ready for. Yeah,
definitely. And I think developing that resilience within reason, I think is a key attribute for me. You might have got the opportunity that you got. You got a huge opportunity at Stockport, but you still had to go and take it. Then it certainly wasn't given, was it? You're in pre-season, you're in the squad. So just talk to me a little bit about that. Then you've been brought in pre-season. How for you as a person, once you got used to being in an environment, how did you make that breakthrough into the team, and what were the key milestones for you?
So when I signed anyway, the director of football said to me, like, first 6 months, so that would be till Jan, we'll just let you get yourself like embedded into the squad, get get used to the environment, get used to the lads, the squad, everything. Enjoy yourself, like, and stuff. And then I think it become October. Yeah, October, I think I made my debut.
It's quick.
Yeah, that was quick. Made my debut at Weymouth away, so not an easy place to go. It was a wet, horrible Saturday.
Yeah.
So I ended up making my debut there. We ended up winning 2-1. Yeah, that was a shock to me. Like, obviously,
Were you off the bench or did you start?
I started,
Wow.
but I only found out the day before. I think we had an injury, so I had to go in.
How did you feel when you got told you were starting?
Yeah, I was like, wow. Like, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
But I think once I got out on the field, I felt fine. Felt like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Played really well. And then after that, I think it was a couple of weeks later, I think the manager got sacked. So then the assistant took over and ended up playing again at Dover away. So another tricky situation. Again, because someone was injured. Played well again.
Were you playing in different positions at that point? Or did you play like left back twice? Or?
No, I played left centre half in a back three twice. So was comfortable. I had a bit of support around me, senior lads to help me get through it and stuff. But no, I thought first 2 games played really well. And then probably a few weeks later, ended up coming on in the FA Cup against Bolton for 20 minutes or so, which was an unreal experience in front of all them fans and stuff. And then it got to January, and then wasn't like really playing, wasn't in the squads after that. Players back fit, senior lads. And I think personally, I got told as well, but I think personally my training standards did drop.
But why do you think that was?
I don't know if it's
change your manager and stuff and feeling a little bit, or
yeah, maybe change managers, maybe not. I think it probably just complacency from me. Probably played a couple of games, but which I shouldn't have done. Training standards dropped. Not really sure why the reason was. Then it got to January. Got a loan move, which was Spennymoor, which was National League North at the time. And yeah, at first you're young.
I was going to say, how does that feel? Because it's hard, that, isn't it? Getting sent out, because you can't help but think, I'm not up to the level here, I'm getting sent out. But
yeah, it was it was actually like a shock. I was like, oh right, okay. Whereas Spennymoor didn't have a clue, because you just don't. And then went, and I was absolutely loved it. Played 23 games towards the end of the season. Played week in, week out. Learn the ugly side of the game, because you go there, the all through the leagues, the pitches are mud, sand, very little grass, not much football played. It's just horrible football.
Deal with it,
physical side, getting smashed left, right, and centre from big strikers. But I think that's probably the low move that
major.
Yeah, probably learned the most off. Probably, yeah.
And I guess that's why a few minutes ago when I led in that question about being the big step, that's what I was referring to, and particularly dealing with the muddy pitches, dealing with the elbows, dealing with the chat in your ear, trying to get it, they recognise you're the young one in the team, let's try and get in his ear, he's not going to be up for this. And I think without doubt that, for me, that makes or breaks you, doesn't it? And for you, I guess it made you. Yeah,
definitely. I think you've got to learn that side of the game 100%, because you're going to get abuse left, right and centre from players that have experienced, they know you're young, they're going to try and get in your head. I think it helped that I had a really good team around me, all looked after me, good managers that backed me. So we had a good squad, but like you say, a lot of people will go into the shell. But I think I came out of mine, really enjoyed it, and learnt so much from it.
And I actually say, lower down, obviously you were going from National League to National League North, but we've got players who play, maybe in the Northern Premier, they're not getting game time, and I say, if you have to drop down to the counties, drop down to the counties. You just need to play men's footy for a season. How important would you stress that? Oh,
100%. Couldn't stress it enough. I always say to people, like, even people I know, people that like ask me, always say, go out and get game time.
Yeah.
Because if you're not playing, I don't think you're going to develop. You can do all the training you want. I just think games is where you learn the most, and I think no matter what league it is, just go out and get games, because if you're young and you're playing week out, people will see you.
Definitely.
So I think, just go out and get as many games as possible, no matter the league. Yeah,
I can see it now. You're half like smiling, 'cause you remember in like that 20 odd games, you knew exactly how many games you played. speaking about the squad, the manager, it was obviously a really positive experience for you.
Yeah, definitely. Loved every minute. I think that's where I probably became. I thought, like, I've learnt so much. Loved it. Like, got looked after really well. Saw different sides to the game that you wouldn't in academy, like change rooms where it's kicking off and stuff like that. But like, I think that's where you like you say, you develop the most.
I guess you went back to Stockport, a different player then.
Yeah, definitely went back to Stockport. So would have gone back in pre-season then because I played to the end of the season. Felt sharper. Well, to be fair, no, I was actually still training with Stockport because Spennymoor was still part time.
Yeah.
So I was only training once or twice a week with them. So still training with Stockport.
But I mean, going back, thinking, I wanna kick on now.
Yeah, so I wanted to kick on. So then obviously that year, Stockport already got promoted, so they'd gone up a league. So I went back to pre-season, played, done well, and then spoke to the manager. He said, I want you, you're probably not going to play this season. I want you to go out and get a full season of men's football, 40 odd games under your belt, and get the experience that you need week in, week out, playing football again. And then take that kid from there. So ended up going to Gateshead on loan to another North East team.
Proper.
Well, that was their full-time setup in the National League.
Yeah.
Lived up there. And yeah, well, it was a very, very good experience. And one that suited me so well in terms of, obviously you get the experience of living away from home for the first time when you're young. And then the football that they played just suited me down to the ground. It was play out from the back, total football, great change room, great managers that I could learn off very well and tactically. So yeah, it was very, very beneficial to me and helped me kick on well for this season.
And I mean, not to blow smoke up anyone's backside, and this may not have been one individual's decision, but how much do you credit the club for the decisions they've made for you there in terms of, going loan here? Because you touched on the Spennymoor experience and learning the ugly side, but then they've picked another club that, again, a level up, but play the type of football that you enjoy, that you thrived upon. How important were those moves? Yeah,
very important. That's why I think the club played a massive part in that in terms of picking the right loan for me, sending me out on loan and getting me that experience. So obviously you think, I'm going out on loan again.
It feels like it's a cop-out at first.
Yeah, you feel like you're not really in their plans, but I think they actually really had a pathway. So sending me out on loan again to a team that they knew that I was going to play, it worked out well for me in the end.
Yeah, brilliant. So again, the big season, obviously massive season for you last season. That takes us up to last season. We got the timelines right.
Yeah, so that's I had a full season at Gateshead.
So
and then
again, coming back, you got that same thing. You've been out. Was Gateshead, were they full time? Were you up there all the time? Or were you still coming back?
Full time. So lived up there, trained with them constantly for the full season. And
then you've come back. I get one brief question. Going back to before the Spennymoor loan, and up to the point you've come back from Gateshead, had the squad change much in that time? Had players come and gone quite a lot, or was there a similar spine that you kind of went away from and come back to?
No, so a squad was changing throughout. There was a lot of players that was coming and going. So it was a kind of pretty much totally different squad to the one that I probably left before I went out anymore. And
you come back obviously after Gateshead. How did you feel in terms of your own self-esteem, confidence coming back after Gateshead into that Stockport side in that pre-season? Yeah, probably the most confident I've felt in terms of getting a full season in the league that they've only just got promoted out of. I just felt that my game had come on leaps and bounds. I could feel it in like training and stuff. Learned so much when I was up there in terms of everything, just even daily life, but football in general. So I thought, going back into pre-season at the start of last season, just felt like, this is probably where I'm going to get my chance if I do. And being honest, I guess the honest question is, if you think back to that season, the first season when you went out on loan to Spennymoor, versus how you're feeling going back in, did you honestly think, I'm good enough now to get into this team? Yeah, I think I did. And I knew my game would come on a lot. I'd got bigger, I got stronger in terms of when I first come in. I thought this is probably going to be my best chance I'm going to get, and I've just got to try and get that shirt off someone else and take it as mine. And when did that happen? When did you feel? I know it may have been like an appearance, but when did you feel you really got that position and made it your own, because you played a hell of a lot of games last season.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we had the pre-season, so was it? I think we've been away as well, so we went to Spain and did that.
Was that the first time you've been away?
Yeah, great experience. Well,
yeah,
it's a bit of hell, but it's worthwhile in the end. But I'd be the first to admit, I don't think that was my best pre-season.
Really, yeah.
In terms of, I don't know, I just don't think I performed the way I know I can in terms of pre-season.
Do you mean in terms of the games themselves, or just
in training and stuff? And then obviously it comes to the start of the season. Spoke to the manager. He just said, we're pretty not disappointed in you, but we expected better from you this pre-season in terms of the experience you've been out and getting, which was fair enough. I wasn't good enough. He said, so you sort of need to up your game, or else we could send you out on loan again, sort of thing.
You're thinking, oh no.
Yeah, I was thinking, flipping it, not again.
Yeah.
But then played the first game of the season. I was on the bench, and then we had Sheffield Wednesday in the cup away. Started that, so I got my chance, and then I thought I had an outstanding game. Played really well against the Championship outfit, so I played really well. So then I got my chance in a league game the next, which was Walsall away. So that's my first league start for Stockport in years, and it's in League 2. Bit nervous before, and then got out there, felt fine, and then about 20 minutes into the game, made a mistake, which led to a goal. So I was like, oh no, here we go. I've just handed my first start, and then I do this, and then we go on to lose the game 2-1. Absolutely gutted, been handing my start, and then I go and do that. So it was a bit of an ugly start.
What fair play for mentioning that. I think if you didn't mention it, someone might have mentioned it in the comments, but no, fair play for mentioning that, and it's obviously a sobering moment for you, isn't it? You know, you've made the steps up the levels in terms of loan moves, you've earned your place in the team, as you say, you played well against the Championship team. Do you think, and again, feel free to knock me down here, but do you think there's a bit of complacency coming out of that Sheffield Wednesday game, thinking that's it? I'm in the team, but I don't know. Was there any of that, or was it just literally one of them honest mistakes? Which
I don't think it was. I think I was right up for the game. I don't think I felt any complacency, because I thought, it's a chance to show the manager, sort of thing, that I'm ready for the league games, which are the big ones.
Of course.
And then I just think it was just one of them honest mistakes. I just think, like a young player, you make mistakes, of course, and you just need to learn.
And what was there just nothing said about it? Because again, there's ways to deal with those mistakes. There's ways to. What were your teammates like about it? What was the manager like about it?
That was a bit down, to be fair. A few teammates got around me and said, "Don't worry about it. We learn from it. We're early on in the season." Manager gave me a bit of a grill. It wasn't too harsh, but told me, he said,
reminded you,
you've made a mistake. Yeah, you're young.
Own it.
You're learning from it, but you've got to own it. You've got to recognise next time what you can do better. Else,
what was it? What was the mistake? Square pass or something, was it?
No, I think the long ball down the channel, and I've tried to bring it down, not seeing the man off my shoulder. He's come round the front, took it off me, squared it, and then they've scored. And then what was that? What was after that then? I'm trying to think. Then it was. So then after that, I got dropped again for the Tuesday game, and then we played another Saturday game. Was on the bench again. Then we had the Tuesday after Papa John's against United's 21. So started that again. Played really well again. Got to showcase that I've learned from it. I played well, and then got handed my first, and then got handed another start in the league on the weekend, because I was supposed to be playing centre half in that. Got moved to left back because we had injuries the day before. Yeah. Again, made another mistake in that, which led to a corner, which led to a goal. So not really learned, because I tried to bring it down again instead of just getting rid. So that led to another mistake. So I thought, here we go. But then I thought, got a bit of a grilling at half time again, which was rightly so. And I thought second half, I went out there, put it behind me, ended up winning the game 2-1.
Brilliant.
And then from there started the next game, and then I just started to grow in confidence, and performances just started to exceed.
I mean, look, fair play to you, overcoming them mistakes. I certainly didn't know that for a fact, but obviously you're very aware of it, the manager's very aware of it, and I think again, credit, because you could have easily got hooked at half time, couldn't you? You should have thought, you know, that's twice in 2 starts now.
Yeah, he's not learning.
But he's give you the chance to go, look, he's got a second half here he can make up for it. You go out in that second half thinking, I'm just going to put everything into this and show the manager it means a lot to me, and show my teammates I'm going to try my best to make up for it.
Yeah, definitely. I went out there looking to prove a point sort of thing, and I thought I did that. We ended the second half very well, obviously won the game, and then he showed confidence in me then afterwards to keep putting me in, which I think the next game was, who did we play next game? MK Dons away, so another tough game, and he had the confidence to put me in again, and we won that. So then, just for him to put confidence in me after making 2 mistakes early on, he's shows that he trusted me.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, we all know how the season went, obviously, in terms of the success, and again, like I said at the start, congratulations for that. What was that feeling like? I mean, your first season in, I mean, Gateshead was professional. First season in the Football League. You know, you've made your breakthrough. The team have gone on and done what they've done. How does that feel? Yeah,
it was a bit of a whirlwind, to be fair. I think everything was like, I think we had a few up and downs, to be fair, but I think it was first season in League 2. Just don't think it could have gone any better, and it was an absolute joy to play in. And
particularly again, if you look outside of Stockport and the rest of the country, if not the world, are going, how many points are Wrexham going to win this league by? Is it going to be 20 points? Is it going to be 30 points? Is anyone going to beat them all season? To do what you've done in the way that you've done it must have been hugely satisfying for the whole club. Yeah,
definitely. Considering like the start that we had, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a bad start. We hadn't won a game in ages. I think we must have been mid-table after a good few games, and then just put this run together. I think we went 12 wins on the bounce, which just sent us right to the top. Confidence were flying, and just think we kicked on from there. I think we had a bit of a sticky patch through Christmas. We had injuries and not, but I think we all knew that the talent we had in the squad, that we should be pushing, and once we knew it clicked, it was going to click, and there was no stopping us.
We spoke off air a little bit about the clubs, if you like, the policy of bringing in younger players at the moment. You've obviously got some very experienced players in there as well. How important has that been for you, as you know, being around some of the more experienced players, but also seeing other players, you know, of your age or coming through? What's the importance, do you think, of that balance between the youth and the experience?
Yeah, I think you need that balance, obviously, because, well, if we're going for a promotion, you need senior players in there that have been there and done it, and because the year before, obviously, they lost in the playoff finals, so I think this season was a big one to look back on it and let's not make that mistake again. And yeah, it was very important to have the experience in there, that have, the ones that have done it before, know what to do. But obviously important to have younger people in there that can help you as well. So yeah, I think the balance was perfect, and we had the right team to do it.
Brilliant. Okay, a few quick fire questions then before we finish. Best player you've played with?
Probably Nick Powell.
Quality player. Stadium. I mean, you've already answered this question, I think, but team and stadium you'd like to play at could be 2 different things, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing.
Team, Man United. Stadium, Santiago Bernabeu.
Oh wow. Okay, I was expecting Old Trafford, but seeing as though it's nearly fallen down, it might not really play them. Play you most look up to in the modern game?
Probably now, obviously my position as well, probably John Stones. Wow. I just think he's same position as me. Obviously he's not left-footed, but just the way he plays, I think he's so comfortable on the ball, and I think the way he's built himself up from just when he was first at City, he's upped his game. He's learned so much from when he first signed to now, and I think he's probably a player that I look up to.
Brilliant. I was not going to go there with some of the other questions because it might put you in an uncomfortable position of the club thinking you're looking elsewhere, but I think I'll leave it there. But listen, Ethan, thanks so much for your time, appreciate it, and again, hopefully the students who are watching take some lessons from there. It's certainly not been an easy journey for Ethan, and as you can hear from some of the responses, and again, you only have to look through the internet in terms of where you've been, what you've done. It took a lot of commitment, dedication from yourself, and credit to you. Still, I'm sure you'll be the first person to say you've still got a long way to go.
Oh yeah.
A lot more lessons to learn, but I'm sure, given the attitude you've shown so far, you'll go on and do that. But thanks for your time, Ethan, and hopefully I'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.